And as always, these pets Zoom sessions are being recorded, and they are being uploaded to our district YouTube page. Cheryl Savager, our public image chair, shared them on our Facebook page last night. Saturday, I will email everyone the links to all 4 of the pets Zoom sessions, as well as links to the original 2 pre-pets Zoom sessions that we did, in case you haven't had a chance to watch those. And it may be a good idea to go back and look at those, because there's a lot of connection between what we've been talking about yesterday and today and what we talked about in those pre-pet sessions. So welcome everyone. My name is Jeff Weinrack, district trainer for Governor Sonny Kellerman. And we're going to just go over a few Zoom ground guidelines for large groups first before we do introductions. Especially for those of you who were not able to join us yesterday. All participants other than presenters will be on mute, including those on the phone. That's just to minimize feedback. Interaction with the presenters can be done 2 ways. One is through the chat, which you'll find at the bottom of your Zoom screen. The other is by raising hands, and we used raise hands yesterday and worked very well. If you open or click on the icon that says Manage Participants at the bottom of your screen, you'll see at the bottom right, there's a place to click on Raise Hands. And when you raise your hand, Sonny or I will see it, and we will call on you to ask your question. For those on the phone, neither one of those will work. If things are quiet, we will try to have you unmute so you can ask your question. If we are having internet problems today, yesterday was a great day. Hopefully it'll be the same today. But if you're having internet problems, please feel free considering using a phone instead, so at least you can hear the conversation. We will not be having breaks during particular sessions, so please feel free at any time to get up, stretch, get a bite to eat, whatever you need to do. And if you happen to be on a computer and a phone, just make sure that your audio on your computer is off, your microphone and speakers, otherwise we will get feedback. So those are the guidelines for today. And I'm going to turn it over to Sonny, who's going to do VIP introductions.
Yes, thank you, Jeff. We didn't have a chance to do this yesterday, although obviously it's protocol. We now know from past Governor Doreen yesterday. So before we go through everyone, just to say hello and have a chance to see who's who, let me begin by introducing some special people who are on this call. We have District Governor Gary King. Gary, are you still Gary? Are you Yolanda still? Gary King?
I fixed it. I'm good.
Oh, good. Welcome, Gary. We're happy you're here. And we have
Thanks.
past District Governor Dick Jones is here. Dick, say something so we can.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And past District Governor Tom Walker.
I'm from Albuquerque.
From Albuquerque. Happy to have you. Thank you. And District Governor nominee Bob Roush.
Just glad to be here.
To have you. And District Governor nominee designate John Drusden.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. So, did I miss anyone? Because people are joining all the time. We're going to go through everyone and say hi, because even though it takes a little bit of time, you know, one of our major intentions for pets was that we have a chance to get to know one another. More often, we put a name and a face together, the more we are to have that connection. I do want to say, before I turn the floor back to District Trainer Jeff, that while I deeply appreciate everyone wearing hats, I do want you to know it's not required. You know, simply to inject their note of fun, and it's working for me. I hope it's working for you too. Jeff.
Okay, thank you, Sonny. So I'm going to go through the list of names that I'm seeing in front of me. If I call your name twice, it means that names are moving around. I'll try to do my best. So please, when I call out your name, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, your club, and your role for next Rotary year. Marcia Skiles.
Marcia Skiles, President-elect, Marfa Rotary Club.
Thank you, Marjorie. Alan Bash.
Yes, Alan Bash here, President-elect for Sandia in Albuquerque.
Thank you, Alan. Bob Bernard.
Bob's here, Las Cruces, Rio Grande, President-elect nominee. I have to cut out after the first hours, so I apologize.
Not a problem, thank you. Brian McPartland. Brian, you were very soft. Can you raise your microphone by any chance?
Brian McPartland, President-elect, Rotary Club of.
Got it, thank you. Ed Robertson.
Yes, Ed Robertson here, President-elect Rotary Club del Sol, Albuquerque.
Thank you, Ed. Jim Bird.
So tired. Why do you have to do this?
Moriarty.
Club.
Thank
We have to
you.
sit there and introduce ourselves.
Please mute yourself, whoever's speaking, so we can continue through this. Thank you. Brenda Waters.
Brenda Waters, Angel Fire Rotary Club, President-elect.
Thank you, Brenda. Jimmy Melver.
Yes, this is Jimmy Melver, Northeast Rotary in El Paso. I am the Assistant Governor for the South Region.
Thank you, Jimmy. Debbie Cox.
Looks like her screen froze.
It could happen. Debbie?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Debbie Cox, and I'm the Lieutenant Governor of North Action.
Thank you, Debbie. Bianca Cheney.
Bianca Cheney, new board member, Roswell Rotary Club, also on the District Youth Exchange Committee.
Thank you, Bianca. Patrick Sarabia.
Yes, Patrick Sarabia. I'm with the Northeast El Paso Rotary Club. I'm the president-elect.
Thank you, Patrick. Cheryl Saavedra.
Good morning, Cheryl Saavedra. I am with the Albuquerque Rio Grande Club, formerly with the Pecos Valley Rotary Club, and I am the District Public Image Chair.
Thank you,
Hi,
Cheryl.
Bob.
We have a phone number, 575-840-3563. Who is this?
Oh, it's me, Tim Parker.
And what club are you from and what do you do, Tim?
I'm with the Pecos Valley Rotary in Roswell, New Mexico. I'm the district chair for the Human Trafficking Awareness Committee and the district chair for the Performance Improvement Committee.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Tim. Yasser. Yasser from El Paso.
Yeah, he's here and he's not muted, but we're not hearing anything.
Okay, I will go on and come back.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yasser, Rotary Club of El Paso. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. And what is your role next year?
Oh, President-elect.
Excellent, thank you.
No, President next.
President next year.
Next year.
Bob Entrup.
Yeah, Bob Entrup, the incoming president of the Roswell Pecos Valley Rotary Club. Hey to all my fellow Roswellites, and especially the former Pecos Valley Rotarian Cheryl Saavedra. Purple wall there.
Okay, we have another phone number, 915-433-0522. Who is this?
Mirna from El Paso, Texas.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
Mirna,
Mirna.
M-I-R-N-A. from El Paso, Texas.
Got it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Eileen, and I don't have a last name, but I think I know who it is. Eileen, go ahead.
Eileen Comstock, Socorro.
And your role next year?
Pardon? Oh, I'm president-elect right now.
Perfect. Thank you. Bobby Hockaday.
Hi, I'm Bobby Hockaday, President-elect for Tucumcari Rotary Club.
Thank you, Bobby. Let's see. Christina Martinez. Christina.
There we go. Unfroze. I'm Christina Martinez with the White Sands Club of Alamogordo, and next year I will be president.
Awesome. Thank you. Dawn Bourgeois.
Hi, I'm Dawn Bourgeois. I'm president-elect of the San Juan County Rotary Club in Farmington.
Thank you, Dawn. Don Bernardi. Dom?
You're still muted.
Dom is on mute. We will come back. Eric Cortez.
Good morning, I'm Eric Cortez, incoming president for Espanola Rotary Club.
Thank you, Eric.
Okay,
Jen
Dom-
Dresser.
Dom is unmuted.
Oh, Dom, go ahead.
Dominic Bernardi, Rotary Club of Albuquerque. I'll be the alumni chair for the district next year.
Thank you, Dom. Jen Dresser.
Jen Dresser, Albuquerque Metro. I'll be president of my club next year.
Thank you, Jen. Jerry Pike.
Jerry Pike, I'm the president next year of the Rance Milan Rotary Club, and I have to bail out again a little early today for my bus run again. So,
Understood. Thank you very much. Jessica Onsures.
Good morning, Jessica Ansuris. I am the president-elect of the Carlsbad Rotary Club.
Thank you, Jessica. Jim Bird. Jim?
You already did me. Jim Bird,
Oh.
Moriarty, becoming president.
Sorry, thank you. Jim Hatcher.
Hi, Jim Hatcher, Fort Stockton Rotary Club, district membership chair. I want to ask Dick where he got the special award from.
That's the Rotary Club of Santa Fe's Funnest Chicken Award. And I thought I would bring him along today to virtually present to Governor-elect Sunny for her effort to make today and yesterday fun events.
Thank you, Dick. That's wonderful.
Let me turn the screen over to him a minute and let him get a close up here, you know.
Well, now our YouTube video will go, now our YouTube video will go viral. John Morrison.
You're welcome.
Yes, John Morrison with the Socorro Rotary Club. I've been tasked with trying to build new clubs of different types here in the district. And Sonny, I sent you an email this morning with some ideas.
Yes, I saw it. I haven't had a chance to respond. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John. Gabino.
Yes, this is Gabino Tavera from Camino Real Rotary Club in El Paso. I'm the upcoming president.
Thank you. Kevin Long.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kevin Long. I'm the president of the East El Paso Rotary Club.
Thank you, Kevin. Laura Gonzalez.
Hi, I'm Laura Gonzalez. I am the incoming president for the Los Alamos Rotary Club and glad to be here again.
Thank you. Leah Jordan.
Hi, I'm Leah Jordan. I'm from the Las Cruces Rotary Club, and my incoming title is Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Leah. Marshall Poole.
Hello, I'm Marshall Poole. I'm currently president of the Las Vegas Rotary Club and on the district tech team.
And an awesome one at that. Michael Moore.
Hi, Michael Moore. I'm the president-elect for.
I'm sorry, from where?
You just hit mute.
Melrose.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Elena Erickson.
Hi, I'm Alina Erickson from Farmington Rotary Club, and I'm president-elect.
Thank you, Elena. Ron Hensley.
Good morning, everyone. Ron Hensley from Albuquerque Del Sol, Assistant Governor.
Thank you, Ron. Sandy Roush.
Hi, from the president-elect from Albuquerque Del Norte. Thanks.
Thank you, Sandy. Scott Stafford.
Good morning. I'm with the Albuquerque Del Norte Club as well, and I'm Assistant Governor, Central Area.
Thank you, Scott. We have a Frank, but not a last name. Is that Frank from Rio Rancho?
Yeah, Frank Rivera, Rio Rancho, one of Tony's assistant governors for the metro area.
Thank you, Frank. Stephanie Hale.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello. Stephanie Hale. I'm the president-elect from the Rotary Club of Alamogordo.
Thank you. Steve Westenhofer.
Steve Westenhofer, Deming, New Mexico, incoming AG.
Thank you, Steve. Susanna Hallmark.
Good morning. Susanna Hallmark from Westside El Paso Rotary Club. I'm president-elect.
Thank you. Tim Sexton.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Assistant Governor-elect for the Northeast region, the past president for the Raton Rotary Club.
Thank you. Tony, is that Tony Pino by any chance?
Yes, it is. Good morning, everyone. Tony Pino with Albuquerque Del Sol. I'm the Lieutenant Governor, Central Action Team, RILA Boys Camp Director, and Governor's Ball Chair.
Thank you, Tony. We have a Veronica, but I don't have a last name, and I forget what it is.
Williams?
Is it Veronica Williams?
From Gallup?
It may be. She's on mute. Myrna Taylor, but I don't see audio from Myrna. Is there anyone that I missed?
This is Rose Contreras. I'm the incoming president for Las Vegas Rotary.
Hi, Rose.
Morning.
And Veronica, did we get Veronica back? Oh, Veronica, president-elect of Gallup, and doesn't have a microphone. We just
Got it.
Thank you, Veronica. Welcome.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Abel Legaspi from El Paso Sunrise Rotary Club of El Paso. President.
Abel, thank you.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
I just want to mention, Jeff, that one of our VIPs came late and didn't get introduced. Tim Parker is a past district governor.
Yes, he is.
Tim, we're happy to have you.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Sunny. We're going to go through the Rotary Essential Elements first.
Actually, our governor nominee, Bob Roush, will be leading us in this discussion.
Okay, and Bob, just cue me on what documents you want me to bring up. Tom will be doing his own PowerPoint, but just guide me on what you want me to bring up.
Okay.
But I do want to say, before you start, I do want to say, I'm wearing our new shirt. So this is the district shirt for 2020, 2021. And it has our district number on it. So I wanted you to see that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And I thought that was very generous of Sunny to donate all those shirts to everybody in the district. So thank you very much, Sunny. Appreciate that.
Thank
you, Sunny. We appreciate that.
That's very generous of you.
Yeah, right.
Jeff, if you have the essential elements wheel there, if you could throw that up.
I happen to, let's see, I can bring up the wheel very quickly. Let's see. Give me 1 second.
So the essential elements is something we, Sunny and I and Gary learned about at our zone training last year. And we all got very excited about it because it made so much sense. And so we want to share that with all the club presidents, president-elects, so you can incorporate that in your how you run your clubs, and realize how that's going to really help you build your club and your effectiveness. So you'll notice that there are 3 elements to the 3 essential elements, obviously, and they're all interlocking. They all touch each other, and that's very important. And if a club embraces those 3 essential elements, they can't help but be a vibrant club. And we define a vibrant club as a club that's effective, the club's growing, and it's fun. And if you have all those things going on in your club, you can't help but be vibrant. And on the subject of fun, one of our PEs yesterday mentioned that they have a fifth FOI test question: is it fun? And we found out that most clubs do that as well. But I was very surprised. I went to a makeup at the Albuquerque Del Sol Club one time, and they actually have a 6th question. You know, the 5th being, is it fun? Their 6th question is, could we be sued? I was really surprised at that, but I guess that's their culture. So
you gotta know if it's legal or not.
Okay, so we'll go. I'm going to just very briefly introduce each one of these, and then we'll have the committee chair for each one of these talking more in depth about those and how they interrelate with each other. So I'll start off with membership. Everybody understands, and we saw a wonderful video from Greg yesterday about membership and how it's waning in the U.S. And North America. And it's critical, absolutely critical, that we have a vibrant membership, and not only in numbers, but also in content. Diversity. Does your club represent, does the membership in your club, does it replicate the makeup of your local area there, as far as types of people, ages, and backgrounds? Is membership growing, or are you having problems with retention and it's shrinking? And how active is the membership? Do they is it a lunch club, or is everybody involved in projects? So that's membership. And certainly membership affects the ability of the club to contribute to the foundation, and the activity level of the membership will improve its branding and come right back to allow it to grow, because more people want to belong to clubs that are active. And then, excuse me, foundation. I call this the fuel system of Rotary, to enable Rotary to fulfill its mission. It really is the fuel system. We fill the tank, and then the fuel is distributed to the different cylinders to make the car go. And that's what the foundation does. And branding encourages people to contribute to the foundation when they learn what the foundation actually does with their money. And then branding is so important to grow membership and to grow contributions to Rotary and make membership more effective. There's 2 different types of branding. There's external branding and internal branding. External is what we would normally associate with how we're viewed from outside of our club. Not only our club, but Rotary International. Rotary International sort of reflects on us, and we reflect on Rotary International. Internal branding is how club members feel about the culture of their club, and it's not monolithic. What the president feels is the culture of the club may not be what other members of the club feel, and so it's very important to have a unanimous consent on what kind of club you have, whether it's large, small, medium. It's an active club as far as fundraising and doing projects, or whether it's less than active and just maybe contributes to a scholarship once a year. So that's the branding leg. So I'm going to turn this over to our membership chair, Jim Hatcher, and let him get into membership in more depth. Thank you.
All right, where do you want me to start?
You want me to bring up the membership plan?
Okay, let me find it.
I've got it on my.
Oh, that's convenient. There we go. Where are we? There we go. All right. Yeah, I can read that now. Thank you. I think everybody probably can. I'm not going to go through all of these. I think that most of you guys can read, except for maybe, well, I'm not going to say that, that's not nice.
Jim?
Yes.
Be kind. Be kind.
Oh, be kind. Kind of what? Oh, okay. I will be kind, I promise. All right, let's just go through structure. All of these are really important for every club. So every club needs to have a membership chair. This is important not only for the club, but it's also important for the district. Especially these few right here. Not only should you have a membership chair and a committee, for clubs that have enough people to have that. I know some of you guys don't have that many members. Everybody does everything else, but it'd be really important for everybody to have at least a committee chair. And generally that's going to fall on either a separate person or on the president of the club. Not only that, you need to have a phone number and an email address that we can actually reach you on. And that's really important. Those kinds of things are really nice to have. And you'd be surprised how many people don't have a reliable email address or a phone number. Everybody needs to enter a goal. Goals are important. If you're traveling, your goal is your final destination. If you don't have a final destination, then you're just kind of meandering around. That's you. But for the club, you need a goal. And so membership, you set a goal for maintaining your membership as it was the beginning of the year, at the end of the year. That's still a goal, okay? Or adding 2 new members, or adding 10 more members. Whatever you want to do, that's still a goal. All right, so it's also important, go down to number 2, to take care of your present day members. Oh my gosh, talked about that yesterday. I talked about that and it was really good. Being able to keep the members, being able to engage those members and keep them busy. All of us have people in our clubs that have been in the clubs for, well, kind of like me, they've been in the club forever, but they're not near as involved as I am. And so it's always good to give them something to do. One of the things that I think is a really good idea for clubs is to always have a greeter. Somebody that's assigned to be the greeter. And you change that greeter over, say, every month. They stand at the door and they greet people, and the people come in, they reach over their backs, pat them on the shoulder, whatever, and say, welcome to Rotary. Generally every club does ticket sales. We do a raffle or something like that. And it's really good to have people that rotate in the raffle selling and get to know people, get to be recognized for who you are and why you're a Rotarian. Get some of the older people in the club to be mentors to the newer people. This is real important because, we always do an orientation in the club, but orientation is only the very beginning. Clubs are always changing. We're always adding things to the club. It's always good to have a mentor and say, well, look, this is the way we've done things in the past. And, this is the way we like to get things done and stuff like that. And then it's up to the new member to say, well, you know what, I've got other ideas, and that's fine too. That's all part of being a vibrant club. It's really important to go to the Learning Center. You guys, you're all president-elects. You probably haven't done much time on Rotary.org, but please go to Rotary.org, go to the Learning Center, watch some of the videos, watch some of the PowerPoints, and do some of the surveys. Do a member survey. Get everybody in the club to do the member survey. Do a healthy club checklist. See what your club is actually like. A lot of times we have a general idea of what our club is doing, but we have no idea really what it's about until we get everybody to do these things. And then you start comparing things. Well, I didn't know you thought that way. Well, I do, you know, kind of thing. I've just never said it out loud kind of thing. So those kinds of things are really good. Always try to have fun. You don't have to do the same old meeting all the time. Get out, go have a picnic. Well, you know, right now that'd be kind of hard. You can have a picnic, but you still have to be 6 feet apart from each other. But that being said, you could probably do something online. My club had a meeting yesterday in between the 2 sessions, and we sat and talked about making masks. So we're going to start making masks. Now, of course, we can't make the proper medical mask, but we can make masks. And we're trying to get over some things, you know, those kinds of things. You start working that stuff together. All right. Engage district leadership and district.
Jim?
Yes, ma'am.
You might want to ask Dick Jones about his suggestion for Monday meetings at his club.
Okay, Dick, could you enlighten us on that?
Sure. I'm trying to gather a group of Rotarians that want to meet virtually on Monday night, and we're going to call it Monday Margaritas. And just get a shot of tequila or make yourself a margarita. We'll get online, get drunk, solve all our problems. So
awesome.
That way we don't have to worry about DWIs or anything like that. We just make a fool of ourselves at home.
So important. We hadn't even thought about hanging out together virtually.
So are you going to do this, with your club, or is this for anybody in the district to join you?
Well, it'll probably be anyone that wants to sign on.
Ah.
Invite us.
Yeah, all right. I'll get it set up and invite.
Stephanie,
that would be great.
Chat, she's in.
All right.
Thank you.
I have a question. Oh, okay. I see. It's not a question. All right. So there we go. All right. So the other thing is I'm here. I'm a resource. Cheryl's here. She's a resource. Everybody that has a district occupation, we're all resources. Rarely do people actually get in touch with me. Actually, it's really funny. They all get in touch with me about the same time. But rarely do people actually ask me questions and get me to look things up for them and find help for them. Now, it has happened. I've helped Jimmy in the past and a couple of other people as well. But if you have questions, please contact me. And then I'll just give you my email address real quick. If you got something to write down with, I'll just tell you what it is. It's tallhat, the number 1, @gmail.com, TALLHAT 1 @gmail.com. And please contact me. I'm not adverse to phone calls either. It's 432-386-0237. And if I don't know the answer, I can find it. It's not that difficult. However, if you guys want to go to Rotary.org, you can look that stuff up on your own. It's not, like I said, it's really not that difficult. And it's really good to do that because sometimes Rotary.org is a little bit hard to navigate. It's certainly a lot different from the district page, okay? All right, so we do this thing, we get these things generated from International called membership leads. Membership leads are supposed new members that are looking to join a club. And occasionally when we get those in, we assign them to a club, and hopefully the club will take over and complete the membership lead. Sometimes they're useful and sometimes they're not, but it's really good to have, because then we have these people that they're looking to join our district. And generally it's the large population centers that get them, but I have seen them for Hobbs. I wouldn't, well, maybe Hobbs is a large population center, I don't know, but it's certainly not as big as Albuquerque and El Paso, and that's generally where most of them are. And I know somebody's laughing in there, making fun of Hobbs. I'm sorry. Goodness. If you look down at the brand committee, I'm not going to step on Cheryl's toes here, but it's always good to have somebody in there that works on the brand. Our brand is important to us, and we need to take care of that. And as membership goes, it's really good to have the proper brand and be proud of it, because we are special. You guys are special. You just don't, sometimes you don't realize it. Sometimes the world is weighing on your shoulders, but you guys are really special. You volunteered to do this. It's not an easy thing to do. And I am sure you're all going to do it very well. And we just, getting together and making sure that we have the process to get it done. I'm meandering. I'm sorry. I'll stop. The rest of this you can kind of read. Does anybody have any questions?
Jim, this is Don Bernardi. I've got a couple of small comments if I could make them.
Please, Dom, go ahead.
I mentioned earlier that I'm heading up the alumni committee, and a lot of you probably don't know what that is. It's a function of membership. It's those people that we would like to bring in the club that maybe don't know what the changes have been in recent years. For instance, about attendance and those kinds of things. And they've stayed away. They took a look at us maybe, stayed away from us because they thought the requirements were more than they could handle. RI has done a pretty good job of kind of moving some of those things out of the way now. So these people might be more accessible than they were earlier. You club presidents, president-elects, need to get your thinking caps on and figure out a way of communicating with these people that Rotary is not only changed, it's changed for the better. And they ought to take another look at it. You ought to take a look perhaps also at those that have left your club and why they left the club, and figure out ways of getting them back in the club. They are people that may have been really good when they were active. You probably would like to have them back in. That's what alumni is going to be all about. I'll be sending you material as time goes by that'll hopefully help you with this effort. And I think we can bear some fruit. That's it, Jim. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you. That's awesome.
Jim?
There was a question or a suggestion about the membership leads document. I have a copy of that, and I will upload it to the Club Runner materials and send it out over the weekend with the other materials for the presidents-elect.
Okay, that's good.
Thank you, Jeff. That responds to your question, doesn't it, Patrick? Patrick was asking for the form.
Yes, I just, right when I was emailing, you answered it. We're good.
We're so good. We're right on top of everything. Just a couple things to interject, if I may. One is that we're looking at all different kinds of club models now, and that's one of the reasons we have John Morrison as our extension chair looking at starting new clubs. We can have clubs that are passport clubs where people are Rotarians and go to all different kinds of clubs and participate in everybody's service project. We can have alumni clubs, which are clubs composed completely of people who've been alumni in the past. We can have cause-based clubs where people get together and work primarily on, oh gosh, making masks at this point, or the environment or water, anything like that. What I wanted to underscore is that it's actually useful to consider that everyone on your in your club is on the membership committee. You know, everyone has some role they can play. Everyone can be a part of it. And it isn't just about, this is point number 2. This is not just about adding more people to your club. It's about taking care of the members you have. So a membership chair right now in these challenging times isn't going to be organizing big events in members. It's going to be checking in with members or coordinating the phone tree who will check on everyone. You know, I'm sorry, I got distracted because I just noticed Dan Garrison's on our call. Welcome, past district governor Dan. We actually can be doing a lot just to reach out to people, especially the ones who live alone or the ones who aren't technologically connected, and make sure they have what they need and that they're in good shape and that they know they're not alone. Membership is internal as well as external. That's my point.
Anybody have anything else?
I do. I wanted to interject and put in, this is Donette Wagner, and tell you that on the left side of the website, the organization chart is there for every leader in the district. So if you can't remember the membership chair's name or the PI person's name, it's there with their name and their contact information.
Thank you, Donette. That's great. Welcome to the call. I didn't know you were here.
Yes.
Yeah, very important, or my name for that matter. If you can't remember anybody's name, it's with us that way.
Huh?
Jim, does that kind of touch on it for you?
I think so. I think that's about it, isn't it?
Okay.
Jim's point and the membership plan's point is that everybody in the district will make a difference with membership. You know, whether you're on public image or foundation or membership or something else entirely, we will all have a role to play. Thank you. I'm done.
Okay.
Now we're going to want to move on to foundations, and to speak on that is our past district governor, Tom Walker. Tom is sort of a district-wide depository of everything foundation. He's an amazing guy, and he's a real treasure to have on the board. So Tom, I'll turn it over to you to talk about foundation for our PEs.
There we go. That's it. Share. Everybody should be able to see this if I did it correctly. The Rotary Foundation really simplified. Those of you who have, in the 10 or 15 years I've been doing this, know that I can really get going on this. We don't have a whole lot of time, and what I want to emphasize is that while very often we deal with these three categories, branding, membership, and foundation, as separate entities, they really are, to work effectively, must be done together. And when I send out the letters on the district grant, I will invite the club presidents, for instance, to involve their PR and branding folks, as well as their membership folks, and get their membership involved. And the foundation people need to brief the club on what they're doing, because we're, as you will see, we're doing some really amazing stuff, but I'm afraid many of our members aren't aware of it. So the first part of this presentation will follow a document which is in your Dropbox, and there are about a half a dozen documents related to the foundation there. And if you haven't printed it out, you really should. It's called the 2020 PETS training quick summary. The front side of the page lists a lot of information and that has links on it. The backside has a suggested schedule. So let's get into that. Okay. There we go. So the Rotary Foundation was created, as I'm sure everybody remembers, at the 1916 convention in Atlanta. But it took till 2007 Council on Legislation to come up with the motto, which is doing good in the world, and the mission statement, which is to enable Rotarians to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health, supportive education, and the alleviation of poverty. So that's really what we're about. Key people that you'll be dealing with this coming year is Foundation Committee Chair. I also have a couple other hats, the Global Grant Chair, Major Gifts, and interestingly, I'm my own boss. I also have a position at the zone level for the Foundation Committee. So that's more or less what I do, among other things. The grants chair is Peter Falley, and he also does the district grant program. So for those of you work in district grants, you'll want to get familiar with him. Stewardship chair is Ann Scott from Albuquerque. We have a new polio eradication chair, past district governor Linda from Anthony. Have a new Paul Harris Society chair, Mark Abramson from Del Sol, and a new Peace Fellows Scholars chair, Allison Pennell from Los Alamos. Again, the emails there, you can click on those and your system will automatically generate those. Now, as presidents-elect, I'm sure your assistant governors and Governor Sonny have talked to you about goal setting, and I know Jim Hatcher did for membership. And it is important to do that. Remember, every Rotarian every year, or E-Ray, goal is $100 per capita annual giving worldwide, which doesn't mean that everybody has to give $100. They're just asking, where possible, everybody give something. Some people will give more, some less. But as you're considering what the proper answer is for your club, that's a place to start. Also, the district asks for $25 per capita in polio giving. Again, when you and your board are working through this, please consider that. The next thing many of you have already heard from me on, it's called grant management training. And this is important because to be club qualified for district grants and to participate in global grants as a host or an international host, you have to have 2 people attend this training. And yes, if I went last year, you have to do it again this year, because as I say, Rotary doesn't change the questions, they only change the answers. So you need to know what this year's answers are.
Tom?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a 90-minute training, or do people need to do both days?
No, it is an hour and a half, 90 minutes. And we set up 6 different Zooms, and it'll be a Zoom more or less like this. And we tried to change the dates around, but each one is self-contained. So you don't have to do more than one unless you just want to hear it again.
Thank you.
And Tom and everyone, the registration links for all 6 are on the district website.
Right, on the left side of the homepage.
So you need 2, and as of this morning, we have 10 clubs that have 2 members registered, and that's Alamogordo, Albuquerque, Albuquerque Metro, Clovis, Hobbs, Las Cruces, Rio Grande, Lovington, Portales, Roswell, and Silver City. Now, the other thing that you need to be taking a look at, achieving $100 per capita annual program fund giving is very important in determining what your grant's going to be for the coming year. And as of this morning, we have 10 clubs that have made that, and that's Albuquerque, Albuquerque del Norte, Del Sol, Angel Fire, El Paso Camino Real, Las Cruces Rio Grande, Los Alamos, Portales, Rio Rancho Sunrise, and Santa Fe Central. So if you're a president-elect and your club is in the $100 category and you don't have people that I read off the list attending grant management training, please take that back and do that. So as of now, the first training, which has about 30 signed up, is on April 7, Tuesday. So that's about a week and a half away. So, yes.
We have a question from Jen Dresser, Albuquerque Metro, if I recall correctly. Can you tell me how the $100 E-Ray and polio are tracked? And can we see that in Club Runner?
No, you cannot see that in Club Runner. You can see that in Rotary Club Central when you go in and look at your own club's giving. Suffice it to say, every morning at 5 o'clock, I check it.
That's
so
very impressive.
You can always ask me.
Tom, can I interject one other thing?
Yes.
With regard to the $100 per capita, I know Tom's going to get into why that's important for district grants, but I just want to say that those of us who really understand what the foundation is doing and what an extraordinary force for good it is in the world, can sometimes find that it's easy to get $2 a week to fund this incredible program. This is not a have to. We don't have any mandatory Rotary requirement that people do this, but it's a worthy goal because it's doable and because it makes such a difference. Thank you.
Let's see here next. So, and again, this is on your quick summary. Some key documents that I think you will find very beneficial. I've been going to PETS on and off since I think 2004, and I am well aware of the fire hose effect. And so that is why I prepared the quick summary with key information. The first one, of course, and again, it's in your Dropbox, is the Foundation Reference Guide. If you have questions about what the pins and what qualifies for this, that, and the other thing, it's there. But you'll notice there is there's a link in this presentation, and there's a link on the document itself. The next one that you really need to become familiar with is the Zone 2627 Foundation Resource Guide. Again, it's a PDF. There's a link there. And I would suggest once you click on that link and it takes you there, that you bookmark it. That document is 16 pages of everything that you wanted to know and a lot that you didn't want to know about the Rotary Foundation. It is maintained current by our Rotary Foundation staff in Evanston. So for instance, if you want to find a multiple donor form, it's there. You have an individual that would like to become a member of the Paul Harris Society, the form is there. And you don't know who to contact, the contact information is there. The next one is District Grant Basics, and you'll see there's two PDFs listed. The first one is a document called District Grant Basics, not surprisingly. And it is on our own website, and in the section you see immediate below there, the Rotary Foundation section of the website. You do not have to log in to Club Runner to be able to see that. Once you click on the Rotary Foundation, there's about a dozen documents that will become available to you. And again, you don't have to log in. The second one, PDF there, is what's called the baselines, and we'll talk about that, but that tells you how much you gave 3 years ago. So again, once you access these particular links, I'd recommend bookmarking. Do we have any questions so far?
And again, feel free to use the raise hand option or the chat option.
Okay, shall we move on? Okay, Triple Crown Circles. Somebody mentioned their Kentucky Derby hats. This does not have to do with that, however, but it is something similar. I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk about a new recognition program in District 5520 for donors to the Rotary Foundation. And we're implementing a thing called the Triple Crown Circle in the district. While it's not officially sanctioned by the Rotary International, several Zone 26, 27, that's our zone, districts have the Triple Crown Circle. And I should point out that the Paul Harris Society that most of us are familiar with began in a similar manner about 10 or 15 years ago on the West Coast. And it's now an official program. The purpose of this is to provide special recognition for those who are not only major donors, but who continue to support the Rotary Foundation with significant annual gifts and who have provisions in their estate plans to support the foundation. So they will, Triple Crown Circle donors will be a major donor, an active Paul Harris Society member, active means currently giving, and a Bequest Society member. Now, to give you an idea of the numbers of folks we have that are in those categories, right now we have about 60 major donors and Arch Clump Society members. Major donors are those who have contributed at least $10,000 up to $250,000 of current gifts. Arch Clump Society is $250,000 up. We have 26 members who are within $3,000 of becoming major donors. So that's some potential areas for us to work on with major donors. We have 138 Paul Harris Society members, of which about 87 are active. Paul Harris Society members pledge to try to contribute at least $1,000 a year to the annual fund or polio or a global grant. There are at least 29 of our members who routinely give $1,000 or more, but who haven't signed up as members of the Paul Harris Society. And I suspect part of that is they don't know that they need to sign the little form to get the PHS wings. We also have 42 members who are in the Bequest Society. Bequest Society members agree to make a future gift of at least $10,000 as part of their estate planning. Now, can anybody tell me what 2025 is famous for, besides being 5 years from now? Well, the endowment fund, the Rotary has set a goal of $2.025 billion as the amount of money that will be in the endowment fund in year 2025. So part of this is to be District 5520's effort to work toward that $2.025 billion in the endowment fund. And I will show you in a little bit why the endowment fund is a big deal for us. Heading that up is past District Governor Rick Akins from Rio Rancho Sunrise. He is really enthusiastic, and you'll probably be hearing from him. Are there any questions about that before we move on?
I'd like to say something, if I may, because this is a topic that may seem like it doesn't apply to all of us. You know, that many of us won't necessarily feel we can reach these levels. However, we are blessed to have people in our district who can, and they make a big difference, not only for the foundation and for the world, but also for our district in reaching our goals. And each one of us wants to be on the lookout for where those people might be. So if people are people who should be invited to consider being a part of this Triple Crown Circle or some part of it, please keep that in mind.
And I should point out that many of our Paul Harris fellows started by giving $100 a year, chipping away at $100, and as some congressman said, before long, you're talking real money here. Similarly, and they said we have about 137, 38 Paul Harris Society members at $1,000 or more a year. You do that, you know, for 10 years, and you're a major donor, and it's you know, it just happened. So anyway, if you're wondering how many Triple Crown Circle donors we're looking at, I bought 200 pins.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom.
So that's where we're headed.
That's where we're headed.
Okay, now let's take a couple minutes and talk about the Rotary Foundation. And this is kind of basic information that you'll want to have when somebody says, what does this Rotary Foundation thing do? And why should I give money? Because we have needs right here in town. Well, we're attacking the width and breadth of a lot of problems. Of course, our corporate project is Polio Plus, and we've immunized over 3 billion people, and we've raised up around $1 billion or so. And our good friend Bill Gates and his foundation are matching our contributions $50 a year up to 50 million. And this coming year will be the last year of that, although I suspect had we gotten together in Honolulu, the president and the Gates Foundation would have renewed that going forward. You know, it wasn't all that long ago that we had 1,000 cases a day of polio. And right now we're down to 32 this year. And I think the majority of them are in Pakistan. I think there have been 2 cases in Afghanistan, and Nigeria is the 3rd endemic country. And we haven't had a case there in over 3 years, and I expect that to be taken off the list shortly. This is the map of cases in the past 12 months as of March 24th. The red dots that you can see are the active cases in the past 12 months in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And there's some green dots smattered around, and there's a couple orange ones over here. The red dots are the wild virus. That's the one we're trying to get rid of. We did have last year a few cases in Myanmar and the Philippines and Malaysia of circulating virus type 1. And that has to do with vaccine related in a population that's not sufficiently immunized. And similarly, the green dots are type 2. By the way, there is no type 2 in the environment anymore. that came from the vaccine, and that's one of the reasons why they're changing the vaccine to make it, why are we vaccinating for type 2 when it doesn't exist? So that's where we are. And you've all seen the graphs from a long time ago where the entire world was red. Well, this is the battlefield right now. Rotary Foundation does humanitarian aid primarily through global grants and district grants. We do education through global and district scholarships, Centers for International Studies and Peace and Conflict, and I'll discuss that a little bit later in more detail. Also, they do district cultural exchanges and global vocational training teams. The last one is somewhat akin to the old group study exchange. Our district has not done any of these cultural exchanges or vocational training teams since we shifted to the current system. Right now, we have 2 global grant scholars overseas studying. And the way that we do it in District 5520 is a club will identify and fund a scholar, and the district will then match what the club puts up. This is the fastest way to do this. I've seen these things turned around in 2 months. If we did it where the district put up the funds, first of all, it would impact our other global grant programs. And secondly, we would have to do a district-wide advertisement. District scholarships we have done, but most clubs nowadays use their, if they do one, will do a district grant to do that. Okay. Got to put this on the exam at the end. First thing, I have to apologize. I could not find a graphic for the endowment fund. It is so important that they don't have a graphic for it. The old name was permanent fund, so we just left it at that. I'd like to briefly explain what share is. So let's say that your club gives $1,000 to the annual program fund. It is invested for 3 years. At the end of that, by the way, the investment pays a goodly portion of the overhead. At the end of that, half of it goes to what is known as district designated funds, money that comes back to us. The other half goes to the World Fund. And both of these fund various programs. So that's why giving to the annual fund is our lifeblood in the foundation, because it is the DDF that matches your global grants. That's the source of your district grant money. And in District 5520, we almost always give $10,000 or $20,000 to eradication of polio as well. The permanent fund, now known as the endowment fund, is kind of like the corpus. The money is rarely, if ever, spent. It's the earnings. And I will show you later, but our district designated funds are augmented by about $7,500 from earnings from the endowment fund. And the spendable earnings also put money into the World Fund. So $7,500 is 10% of what we have in a typical year. So that is a significant thing for us. Basically, everything we give supports the charitable activities of Rotary. Half of it comes back to the district, and I've talked about where it goes. The other half goes to the World Fund. But the key thing here is district and global grants. without the contributions to the annual fund that feeds our DDF, our district global grant programs are going to be in serious trouble. Okay, district grants. This year, 35 clubs were approved for district grants worth $118,000. That's $30,000 more than the previous high in the 16-17 year. A change in the current system from the former one, district grants do not have to be matched by the club. So it is a grant. Here's some of the examples. Food banks and backpacks are popular. Scholarships are popular. Andy and Elmer are popular. Dolly Parton is popular. Tutoring is popular. But last year we got one for a soapbox derby. Clovis wanted to do that. Rio Rancho does a literacy and numeracy tutoring. And global grants do not generally allow building things, but district grants do. And Albuquerque wanted to build an ADA compliant up in the Hammons for the Y. So that's what they put their money in for. I will point out, and we'll talk more about this in grant management training, there are two changes. And one of them has to do with why we're doing this on Zoom. The coronavirus or COVID-19, the Rotary Foundation this week authorized district grants to address that, as well as global grants, and they relaxed some of the rules on global grants and district grants to enable us to do that. So we'll be talking in more detail next or week after next when we talk to the grant folks. Global grants, what's the difference? Well, global grants require an international partner, and they are at least $30,000 projects with a minimum grant from the Rotary Foundation of 15. And as I said, and there are more restrictive rules on that than there are with districts. They also address 6 areas of focus, and you probably are more or less aware of those things like peace, disease prevention, maternal health and children's health and literacy and economic development and so forth. But we'll talk more detail about that with the grant management people. We're very active. Right now we have 23 clubs supporting 25 global grants, and you can read the list there. And these grants are worth about $2.2 million. And we have 4 in the approval process worth nearly $450,000. One of those is a $300,000 project in Guatemala. It's the Better Corn Project. So again, if they ask you what we're doing, that's what we're doing. Now, if you've been around long enough, you've heard me talking about the magic of Rotary. In this case, it's the magic of Rotary Foundation leveraging. On the screen, you see a project called Purify Water at Your School. It's an actual project done by the Rotary Club of Santiago de la Monclova in Monclova, Mexico. You'll see there that there are 4 Mexican clubs that contributed various amounts of money totaling $7,450. That was matched by their district with $7,000. And the reason for that is we actually have more DDF than they do, and that's all they can afford to put on that project. You'll also see that 4 clubs from our district contributed various amounts of money worth $3,100, and district matched that $3,100. Now here's the magic. The Rotary Foundation kicked in $15,375. So where did that come from? Club money, this money in this column, is matched 50 cents on the dollar by Rotary. Rotary matches DDF, or the district's contribution, dollar for dollar. So if you look at it, there was about $10,500 of club money, and half of that would be $52.50 more or less. And there was about $10,000 at DDF, and that was matched dollar for dollar. So that's where that $15,375 comes from. It's added to about $21,000 to come up with a $36,000 project. Now, when I was governor, I used to hear, well, we're a poor club. We don't have a lot of money, and we can't afford to participate in these global grants. Well, notice here, club number 4 from our district put in $250. And compared to 36,000 and what the other contributions was, that doesn't sound like a whole lot. But if you use Rotary magic on it, okay, the 250, Rotary will add 125, so we got 375. The district added another 250, and it makes 625, and then Rotary matched the district with another 250. You're talking 875, 3.5 to 1. So any club can make a difference worldwide by partnering with clubs locally and internationally to make a difference. So just thought I'd point that out. Peace, we have had in the past 3 years consecutively, we have had a candidate selected for either the short course in Chill Longhorn or one of the university studies. There are 6 universities worldwide, Queensland in Australia, International Christian in Tokyo, Duke, UNC in the United States, Bradford in the UK, Uppsala in Sweden, and a new one, Makari in Uganda. And since there are only about 100 or so selected in a worldwide competition each year, the fact that we've had one each of 3 years is quite remarkable. Questions? Okay. Governor Sunny, do we have time to discuss district grants a little bit, or should we leave that?
I think we probably don't. Let's move to branding, and if we have time, we can come back to it. Would that work for you?
That's just fine. So I will.
Thank you, Governor Tom. That was a lot really fast. Don't forget, everyone, who to call if you have questions.
And sign up.
And sign up.
Are we ready?
I think we're ready. Take it. Cheryl, our district public image chair.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. A lot of the messages that have been discussed over the last couple of days with respect to what I call the trifecta or the trilogy, but is really the 3 essential elements, are labeled from Rotary International as branding, foundation, and membership. Branding really is public image. So it's the same concept. If you see those words and you're not sure where, if we should have a 4th element called branding. Branding is just how Rotary International refers to our public image campaign at the lower level. When we were preparing for these particular Zoom presentations, I had the opportunity to talk to Sunny about what message she wanted to give you about public image. And so she identified for me 4 areas that she wanted me to talk to you about today. And those areas are creating both an internal and an external public image for your club. 2, using the Rotary Master Brand in place of the legacy symbol, or it's also known as the Mark of Excellence. And I'll get into that in more detail. Using consistent branding across the board for all of your communications, and we'll talk about what those communications are. And then creating a collective image of the 3 essential elements. So when we're utilizing public image, in doing so, we're promoting the public image of Rotary. We're promoting the foundation basis for Rotary. We're promoting membership for Rotary, all at the same time. So let's talk about what are the internal and external aspects of public image. And I think that Bob Roush went into this a little bit, but Jeff, the first handout that I gave you that says delivering the message.
Give me 1 second.
Okay. While he's pulling that up, I actually pulled this off of a PowerPoint that I had received at District Assembly, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me at the time. But once I got the opportunity to get into it, I understood it a little bit more. One of the things that both Sunny and Bob were talking about is the internal message is how our Rotarians view Rotary. From Rotary International's perspective, the internal aspect of public image is how we communicate with our members. And so when we're working on public image, we're working on how the world sees us. We're working on how our members see us. And so in doing so, let's start with internal. How are we communicating with our members? Well, we're communicating with our members through our newsletters, your club newsletters, your district newsletters. Some clubs have just flyers or menus that come out at every meeting. We're communicating with our members at actual meetings when we're giving notices or announcements. We're communicating through our websites. We're emailing our members on a regular basis. I know for my particular club, we receive an email before every meeting that just updates us on the club events and what's going to happen at the meeting that week. We communicate with our members through our social media pages. Now, in my 3 years of the public image chair, the social media has been the biggest aspect of everything that I have done. And I work really hard at making sure that our social media is prominent. But social media, the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of those are options for you to communicate with your members about things that are going on, events that are going on, accessing the District 5520 Facebook page, and sharing stuff. I'm constantly sharing stuff that the individual clubs are doing, and then the clubs will share stuff that the district is doing. So it's just that round, continuous communication that is communicating to your members what we're doing in the district. Social events. What do our social events tell us about who we are as Rotarians? Well, our social events tell us that we enjoy each other, that we're a circle of friends, that we like to spend time together doing community service events, but we also like to spend time together getting to know each other and getting to know each other's families. Our community service events send the message to our particular members that we are people of action, that's what we do. We don't just have lunch every day or cocktails every day or breakfast every day. We work in our community, and it's important for us to send that internal message to our members that we are working Rotarians. We are people of action. And these are the guidelines for the internal messages that you want to give to your particular members. One, you want them to be regular. Find some forum for regular communications to your club members. Is it your club newsletter? Is it an email that goes out to your clubs every week? Is it a menu that's available at your lunch? Are you Facebooking with each other? Are you Twittering with each other? Whatever your message is, make it a consistent message so that your members know where to find those regular and consistent communications. To make it concise. When you're sending messages to your club members about what we're doing in Rotary and what Rotary is, make sure that it's consistent and it's concise. The public image campaign, the people of action, if, for example, we're always in the business of doing hashtags. If your hashtag is, what was the hashtag that you made up last year, Jeff? Service above selfie?
I didn't make it up, but I like it.
That is a consistent message to our members about who we are. People of action. I'm always using the people of action hashtag on our Instagram page or on our Twitter page. That is a consistent message that we're sending to our Rotarians about who we are and what we do. You also want to make your message inclusive, not exclusive. And what I mean by inclusive, not exclusive, is you need to communicate with your members beyond your club. Rotary is an enormous organization, international organization, and when we're communicating with our members, I think sometimes we become a very confined group of professionals, social friends that we spend once a week. It's incumbent upon you to communicate to your members what Rotary is doing district-wide, what Rotary is doing at the zone level, what Rotary is doing at the international level. They're not getting those messages they're getting from social media. So something that's important. For example, the Rotary Voices magazine. I publish all of those articles from the magazine. And those are important things to share with your members, to share on your particular Facebook page, so that your members can see that we operate beyond the club level and what we do on all levels. Make sure that you use a varied source of communications. When the People of Action campaign came out, it was a message to our members that we are worker bees. That's what we do. Rotary, the purpose of Rotary is so that we can serve our community. The purpose of Rotary is not for us to pay for overpriced chicken once a week. And so that we have a contact in every area of profession. That may be how it started initially, but the message that we're sending is that we are people of action. And you have to find your members where they are. Not everybody uses Facebook. Not everybody uses Instagram. So whatever it is that your members respond to, you need to be in tune to your individual members and give them the message the way that they're going to receive it. A lot of the older generation love handwritten notes. The Russell Hampton, you can order Rio Grande Rotary Club cards where you can just send a message to a member that says, you know, haven't seen you in a few weeks, miss you, hope you're okay. Whatever they receive as their personal form of message, it's incumbent upon you to find it and utilize it, so that they stay connected to the club. That's really what the internal aspect of public image is allowing your members to see who we are as an organization and making sure that we're communicating with them about who we are and what we do. The external aspect of public image are the things that we have typically done, or that I have typically done as the public image chair. I spend lots and lots of time managing the Facebook 5520 Facebook page, and I try and make it as inclusive as possible. I'm constantly stealing stuff, stealing photographs, stealing everything from everybody else's page. I get lots of information from Don Powell's newsletter. I'm trying to bring in as many individual club events as I possibly can. And in doing so, Facebook is really the opportunity for us to show the outside world, or any social media, the outside world, who we are and how we operate. So what does today's message say? When I posted a photograph of all of us on this Zoom meeting on our 5520, we happen to have, I'm going to show you how many friends 5520 has. We have 995 followers. Well, we certainly do not, in those 995 followers, it's my friends and your mother and your coworker. And the messages that we're sending to those people is that we get the job done. If we're not able to meet in Rio Doso for pets, we're still going to get the job done. We're still going to train our president-elects. We're going to take whatever action is necessary to continue the cause that we've engaged in, because it's an important cause and it's worth pursuing. When we're advertising community service events, we're advertising to the community that we are people of action, that we're getting stuff done in the community. So, and there's a variety. We haven't done billboards. We don't spend a lot of time on billboards, but that's always an option. We don't spend a lot of efforts on advertising in newsletters or magazines. That's not the medium that we have been successful, but it may be the medium that is successful for you and your club. It's incumbent upon you to search all the available options for portraying your particular message in your particular event and utilizing those resources. Who are we advertising to? When we're portraying an external public image, who are we seeking? Potential members and the general public. What does the general public think about Rotary based on the information that we're putting out? What do potential members think about Rotary when we're advertising the governor's ball, when we're advertising the pumpkin chunkin', or the Desert Sun Classic Golf Tournament in Roswell? What message are we sending to them, and how do we send it? Which takes me to my next point that was that Sunny wanted to talk about, was the master brand.
Cheryl, could I interject something before you move on?
Certainly, yes.
I just want to underscore, this is really great. Thank you very much, Cheryl. There's another, in addition to how we communicate to our clubs and to the outside world from our clubs, there's a beingness aspect to all of this that I think is relatively new to Rotary's discussion. And that is, our internal brand is not only how we speak to our members, but also how our members experience being Rotarians. You know, are they engaged? Are they inspired? Are they having fun? Are they happy and proud to be Rotarians as part of our internal brand, which is why Bob was talking about the Healthy Club checklist and the member survey. And I would say by the same token, when we are thriving and having fun and being engaged in Rotary, that sends an external message to people who then will want to engage with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunny. When you are engaging in your public image, the message that you're sending externally to potential members and to the general public is, what is Rotary? What do we represent? What do we do? Why should I join Rotary? How can I participate in Rotary? How can I contribute in labor, in finances, in services, in goods? Who can be a Rotarian? Are we sending that message externally? Who can be a Rotarian? We want to make the message clear that anybody can be a Rotarian. I think I heard somebody say that yesterday. Anybody can be a Rotarian. And so when we're developing our public image campaigns, we need to make sure that we're answering those questions in the transmissions that we're giving. Are we clearly saying what Rotary is? Are we inviting people to join? Are we defining who we are? Are we defining what we do? So just be cognizant of those questions internally when you're developing your public image campaigns. So one of the things that I have tried to talk to clubs about in terms of their public image is when you're developing a public image plan, instead of developing a plan that is past, present, and future with respect to your events or with respect to your goals, develop a plan that is future, present, and past. And I'll tell you why that's important. Let's take, for example, the Governor's Ball, just because it's a big Albuquerque event. When we are developing a public image campaign as Rotarians for the Governor's Ball, we're projecting that as a future event. That's a future event that we want the entire community, the entire state, every Rotarian, including the governor, to be involved in that, because we're raising money for causes that are important to us as Rotarians. So we want to promote that. We want to invite people. We want to advertise that event. We want to fundraise. We want to issue press releases so that people can see that that is something that we're working on. They see that we are people of action. 2, when the event is going on, when it's a present event, live stream your event on our Facebook page. If you need access to our district page for the day, I'll give you access. Our access is a little bit restricted because we have to monitor what people put on the page, because it has to be Rotary related and it has to be Rotary relevant. But live stream your event, take pictures, post them on your page, tag 5520, tag me personally if you need to. We have several administrators. All of the district governors are administrators. Jeff and I are administrators. Several of the LGs are administrators. So show me your event as it's going on, because people want to be engaged in what you're doing at the time that you're doing it. Then when your event is complete, do a follow-up. The Governor's Ball raised X number of dollars for X number of charities in the state of New Mexico. We had X number of people in attendance. We're so looking forward to the event next year. This is how you can participate. So you're broadcasting a future event, you're inviting people to come, and you're inviting people to participate. While the event is going on, broadcast it as it's going on so people can see in real time what you're doing. And then once your event is over, do a press release about how successful your event was. I've encouraged several clubs to do press releases, and I'll post them. We can put them in the newsletter, we can put them on the district website, we can put them on the Facebook page. Tell us how your event went. We want to hear, because other clubs want to participate. They may want to mock your event. They want to see what worked and what didn't, how many people you had attend, how much money you raised. So I had started to talk about, before I got distracted, the Rotary Master Brand. This is an area that's important to Sunny. And it's important to Rotary International. We've talked a lot about, there's no Rotary police. There's nobody out there that's going to say that you have to take down your graphic. If I see a graphic that does not follow the master brand, I may send you a note. And I've done that to a couple of clubs. But we're all learning. Everybody's changing their graphics. A lot of clubs have graphics that they have used for years. And it's hard for them them to get accustomed to the change. But the Rotary master brand is the Rotary wheel that is a singular color, and it has the word Rotary to the left of it. You'll see it here on my shirt. This is when people are talking about the Rotary master brand, this is what it is. It's not the wheel by itself. The wheel by itself is actually referred to as the legacy symbol or the mark of excellence. That's what the wheel is entitled.
My shirt, my hat has the legacy logo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what, and you'll see in the PowerPoint that is included in your materials, the purpose of the Rotary Master Brand is so that people are not manipulating a universal symbol of who we are and what we do. There's lots of examples in my PowerPoint of the Rotary wheel being manipulated with additional words or additional pictures or half of the wheel. Rotary International's goal is for everyone to use the same graphic for every purpose, every time, so that we become like Starbucks. Everybody recognizes the Starbucks symbol. Everybody recognizes the Coca-Cola symbol because it is never manipulated. If we're consistently using the Rotary Master Brand, then we are sending a consistent message to the world about who we are and what we do. There are materials in my PowerPoint about how to access the brand center. Now, every Rotarian should have a myrotary.org account. If you do not, please go onto rotary.org and sign up for My Rotary. But you can access the brand center from either rotary.org or myrotary.org. They're both there under the news and media section. And under the news and media section, you're going to find links for the Rotary logo guidelines, actual logos that you can download that are in proper format, proper color, proper pixel, all of the materials that Rotary International creates ahead of time for you. Brochures, business cards, posters, advertisement, people of action campaign information. The Identity at a Glance is a handout that I have handed out and is included in your materials as well for years, that talks about exactly what the Rotary wheel needs to look like, exactly what color it needs to be, because Rotary International is very specific about that. And I've encouraged clubs to just give that to whoever is doing their t-shirts, whoever is doing their advertising, whoever is printing their publication. Give it to them and give them very specific instructions. I am not the Rotary police. Sunny is not the Rotary police. You are your own Rotary police for your own club. Review all of your materials and make sure that your Rotary master brand is consistent with what Rotary International has set forth for us. And if it's not, then please change it. If you need help, I will send you all of the information that I have. I have several times had Rotarians on the phone while I'm on the brand center with them, explaining to them exactly where and how to go to get the logo guidelines. I'm happy to do that for you at any time. There's additional materials on the logo guidelines and the master brand in the PowerPoint.
Cheryl?
You want me to bring the PowerPoint up?
Yes, actually, if you...
Cheryl, while you're doing that, Brenda Waters has a question. Are we allowed to print or embroider the Rotary Master Brand on shirts, caps, and aprons?
Yes, you can actually put the Rotary Master Brand on anything, as long as you're using the master brand. Master brand means the wheel and the word Rotary, not just the wheel.
Right.
Not just, not a multicolored wheel. Our wheels are not multicolored anymore. They used to be blue and gold, but it's either blue or gold now.
I'm going to throw this hat away, aren't I?
So keep going until you get to the graphic that has all the different There you go.
Whoa.
This is just a collection of Rotary graphics that we pulled off the internet.
Huh.
This is not consistent with the master brand, and Rotary International is asking us not to do this. And so these are just a few examples. And again, go through your materials, go through your publications. I wouldn't encourage you to throw away your Rotary stuff. Sonny, don't throw away your hat. That's a nice hat.
Okay.
But in the future, moving forward, as an organization, we're always moving forward. Moving forward, let's do it right. Let's do it consistently.
And Jen Dresser would like to know if there are any acceptable ways to incorporate the legacy logo as we go forward. Do you know?
Acceptable ways to, tell me again?
Incorporate the legacy logo as we go forward. At times when maybe it doesn't work to put a whole bunch of stuff on something. Are we ever encouraged to use the legacy logo?
So if you, for example, if you just want to use the wheel,
Yeah.
so the legacy logo is the wheel.
Right.
And you want to put your club name next to it or your district name next to it, you can do that, but it just has to have the word Rotary. What the master brand is saying is that the wheel was not universally recognized as the symbol of Rotary. That's why they added the word Rotary. So the wheel should never appear without the word Rotary.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Cheryl, we have a hand raised from Stephanie Hale. Stephanie, go ahead and ask your question.
I think she kind of just answered it regarding the wheel being incorporated, because I was looking at some of these logos on here and they all have the wheel, but you're saying that if we wanted to create something for our club specifically, if we have the wheel, also include the name Rotary. Am I understanding that correctly? Okay.
They're there.
The wheel.
Yes, actually, if you look at the brand center, there are ways to put your club name right with the master brand. It'll walk you through it.
So the wheel and the Rotary must never be separated.
All right.
In other words. Okay.
There's a lot of enthusiasm about visiting Club Bora Bora, just to say. when travel restrictions are lifted.
Indeed.
Cheryl, Sandy Roush has her hand raised. Sandy, go ahead.
Hey, Cheryl, thanks for the great presentation. Yeah, I just noticed, I just went and looked our the flag that we usually give when we're visiting another Rotary Club. You might have to look at that too, because that's probably out of date.
Banners, thank you. Good point.
Yes, banners, t-shirts. If you'll, I'm trying to remember what year it was. I think it was Doreen's year. Doreen gave all of the district staff new Rotary pins that had the master brand symbol on them. They were white and blue, either white or blue, and they were a little rectangle. Do you guys remember those?
Yes.
I don't actually have it with me because I ended up giving it away. I met somebody who was very interested in Rotary and had been a Rotarian but wanted to rejoin, lost their pin, so I gave them my pin as a reminder to give me a call and I would hook them up, but I never got my pin back.
We can, those of us who have them can wear them this afternoon. Can we put up the master brand just for a minute, Jeff? Do you have a copy of that somewhere? That
it is in
there.
there.
A request to share it just for a moment.
It is the immediate.
It's actually on your shirt. It's on my shirt. It's master brand, Rotary plus the wheel. That's the one color wheel. Can everyone see that? Everyone who's not on the phone?
Yes.
And of course, the Rotary Brand Center has it.
Are you working on it, Jeff?
Well, I'm sorry, what?
I guess not.
Go back in the PowerPoint?
Yeah. There you go. That's the master brand.
Great. Thank you.
Cheryl, Jimmy Melver has his hand raised. Jimmy?
Okay. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Cheryl, I know you made an example for me. We're in the wrong shirt last year at the district conference. But anyway, you were talking about communicating with our members. Our secretary came up with what they call the Group Me, which is a kind of an app on your cell phone. And the secretary just posts notices to our members, and then members will see that there is message from whoever is on the members of our club, which is another way of communicating to our members.
Right, that's an internal public image message to your club members.
Yes.
That, I didn't have a chance to include these additional exhibits. Say exhibits because I'm a lawyer, but they're not exhibits. They're, what do you call it, Jeff? Papers. Jeff has them, and he can send them to you later. But I found lots of material regarding internal and external communications just by searching on Rotary International website and searching Rotary.org and myrotary.org. I was really pleased with the amount of information that was out there that made it really easy for me to reformulate what was normally my PowerPoint, specifically address the areas that Sunny wanted me to.
Thank you.
Cheryl and Sunny, real quick, we are getting close to 11 o'clock, but if it's okay with everyone, we can continue. And if you have to sign out at 11, you can always go watch the last few minutes on our YouTube page. Is that okay with everyone?
I just have one more area that Sunny wanted me to cover. 2 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's, yeah, well, let's have it be okay. If you must leave, then leave, and we'll catch you this afternoon. And if you can stay, do. If you leave, listen to the rest of it later.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Cheryl.
Okay, so the important message that that has been projected in all of the presentations is the 3 essential elements are the focus of Rotary International, and in everything we do and say and project with respect to Rotary should include all 3 of those. When we are developing public image campaigns, we are projecting an image of who Rotary is because we want to increase membership. When we increase membership, we increase foundation giving. When we increase foundation giving, we increase our ability to do good in the world, as Tom says. That is our ultimate goal in Rotary, is to do good in the world. So in all of your public image campaigns, make sure that you have the 3 essential elements in every one of them. Run the test. Does what you're projecting for Rotary, does it present the people of action message for Rotary? Does it promote membership, increase membership, solicit membership, reward membership, retain membership? Does it address membership in some manner? Is it in support of our foundation? Does it talk about our ability to raise funds so that we can do good in our community and we can do good in the world? That's what we're about. We're an organization because we want to do good in the world. So evaluate what it is that you're projecting and make sure that it has the 3 essential elements. I always call them the trifecta, just because it's easy for me to remember that way. But it's, when you're telling a story about Rotary, you have to tell a collective story. Jim and Tom and I do not exist without one another. We only exist together. And so you, as a Rotarian, when you were telling your story, tell the collective story. Talk about membership, talk about foundation, talk about every Rotarian every year. And when you do, when you send the proper message, it will naturally increase membership. Naturally increasing membership will naturally increase foundation giving. Naturally increasing foundation giving will naturally give us more funds to do good in the world. That's all I have.
That's great, Cheryl. Thank you very much.
So can I interject just one thing real quick?
Yes.
So we talked yesterday and in the pre-pet sessions about goals and measures for the club. And branding is so important that there should be a goal and it should be measured. There's plenty of measures for the effectiveness of your branding. So as an example, if someone comes to your club as, let's say, a potential member or at least a guest, and you ask them, how did you hear about us? Instead of them saying, well, my friend down the street told me about us, they may say, well, we saw a Facebook post about your club. So there's ways to get feedback on how big your reach is and how effective your messaging is in terms of the people that come as a result.
Right. Who's your referral source? When I have a new client that comes in, we always ask them, how did you hear about me? How did you find out about our office? Your referral source is very important because then you know it's working.
Lucy just made the point that inviting people to the activities you're doing allows them to be involved and feel they're making a difference. And Bianca just posted a link to Best Club Supplies. So if you're looking for something other than Russell, oh, that's Russell Hampton, excellent. I just want to say, tying in with yesterday, that your image, your messages to the community and to your members, when they're not positive, have an impact also. So if you tell someone you're all stressed out about your Rotary project, or if you get rude with someone in your club with, don't, because that stuff sends image messages that will drive people away.
Are there any questions I haven't answered?
We just posted something else that's good to know, especially for our district. Our will complain if you overlay images of guns on the brand.
Yes, don't manipulate the master brand.
Don't manipulate the master brand. Images can be on same flyer, but don't overlap them. Thank you, Cheryl. That's an important message. Bob, thank you for your leadership this morning. Anyone, anything else for the good of the order before we adjourn?
Let me just mention,
This is Gary.
Go ahead, Gary, sorry.
I just want to have everybody together. I was going to add a few things on these, but instead I have a couple of breaking news things. One is just to let everybody know that since we don't have clubs, and they'll have instructions on them and you can send them back. So be looking for those in the next 3 or 4 days. One quick thing on grants. If we found this out yesterday, if you have a project you're working on that addresses the COVID pandemic, normally you can't get reimbursed for money that you spent already on a project, but they're changing that rule this year so that if you do a COVID project this year, you can apply for a grant next year. And I'm sure Tom will talk about that more, but just be aware that's going to be one of the biggest changes for district grants. That's the two most important. Yeah.
Everyone, even more important than usual, to have at least 2 people on the grants management training so that Tom can fill us in on what we can do about COVID. We're going to take just a few minutes this afternoon to talk about service projects and fundraising in this new era. And we have as well this afternoon our youth programs and youth risk management presentations, and our final presentation from past RI Vice President Greg Pod. So please join us at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, 2 o'clock Central for our final pet session. We'll adjourn for now. We got one more chat here. Nope. Okay. We'll adjourn until 1. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. You're awesome, and we love your hats.
Thanks, everyone.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Cheryl, Tom,
I
Jim,
want to
thank
thank
you.
all of you guys for all that you all are doing and all the information that you guys are bringing forth.
This is something really new, but it is a very important step to be able to connect no matter what. We do the WhatsApp, as I said earlier, to inform all of us on what's going on, what we're doing, especially with our incoming president, Jose Luis Salas. He's one of the effective directors for the Children's Hospital. So he's been very busy with all of the coronavirus. And so we always let people know when we are offering or letting people know of our activities. Even if we have a little, oh my God, this is so stressful, we have to do this, we have to do that. We always remind one another that no matter how big or small the activity is, the important thing is that we are a team, and nothing can be impossible if we do not work as one. That's the most important thing of all. And I just want to thank you all for this opportunity to be able to participate in this Zoom thing. This is awesome. It is amazing on what technology has gone to, or how far it has gone to, and we still have the sky. The sky is the limit, and nothing without him, nothing is impossible. As long as we have him first and us right behind him, we'll be good.
Thank you, Lucy. Glad that
Thank you,
everyone's
Lucy.
to be represented. We'll see you later.
God
Thank you, Lucy.
willing, you all be safe. Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.